Hello everybody, this is Refresh, and I'm here to bring you a battle between these two Ixalan Planeswalker decks and the Defeat a God Challenge deck from Journey into Nyx. On the left we have Jace, on the right we have Huatli, and we'll be using 3 hero cards for this battle. We have the Harvester, which says tap, draw a card, then discard a card. We have the Explorer, which says you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and we have the Vanquisher, which says your starting hand size is increased by 1, your maximum hand size is increased by 1. Because I only have 1 of each of these cards, we're going to apply them to both decks equally, and we will be first playing on normal difficulty with 3 Rollicking Throngs, and then we'll play again on hard mode with 4 Rollicking Throngs. We'll begin with a card apiece. Jace draws a Castaway's Despair, a Vine Shaper Mystic, a Shaper Apprentice, an island, a forest, a woodland stream, and an island. There is enough here to keep, so we will do so. Huatli draws a Raptor Companion, a Mountain, a Territorial Hammerskull, a Huatli Dinosaur Knight, a Huatli Spurring, a Mountain of Plains, and a Stone Quarry. There is enough here to keep as well, so we will do so. Let's go ahead and begin with a forest and an island over here. We'll tap both and we'll play a Shaper Apprentice, and on this side we'll play a Mountains and a Plains. We'll tap both and we'll play a Raptor Companion. And then we'll pass the turn to Xenagos. Xenagos will cast the topmost card, which is a Ferris Band Revelers. It has Hero's Reward. When Ferris Band Revelers leaves the battlefield, each player draws a card. And then Xenagos will cast his second card, which is Ecstatic Piper. When Ecstatic Piper enters the battlefield, Xenagos Ascended attacks this turn if able. Xenagos will attack. We don't want to block just yet, so we'll go ahead and take 6 and go down to 14. At the end of the turn, we'll use the Harvester. Jace will draw a Jungle Delver, and Huatli will draw a Territorial Hammerskull. We will discard Huatli's Spurring, and we will discard the Woodland Stream. And then we'll untap. We'll draw. Jace will draw an island, and Huatli will draw a Huatli Snubhorn. We will play the Stone Quarry tapped, and we will play the Mountain. And then we will play 2 islands over here. What we're going to do next is we're going to cast Castaway's Despair on Xenagos. It says when Castaway's Despair enters the battlefield, tap Enchanted Creature. Enchanted Creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, which means that Xenagos will no longer be able to attack and therefore no longer be able to threaten us. On this side, we will tap these 3 and play a Territorial Hammerskull, which will enter the battlefield, and then we will pass the turn for now. Xenagos will play the top 2 cards, the first one being the Xenagos Strike. It deals 4 damage to each player. That is 8 damage coming in, and so we are going to be going all the way down to 6 life. And then we'll cast the second card, which is an Ecstatic Piper. When it enters the battlefield, Xenagos will attack. Xenagos is unable to attack right now, so that is good. At the end of the turn, we will use the Harvester. Jace will draw a forest, and we will discard an island. And Huatli will draw a mountain, and we will discard a Snubhorn. And then we'll untap. We'll draw. Jace draws a Jade Guardian, and Huatli draws a Snubhorn. We'll go ahead and play the mountain over here and the forest over here. On our main phase, we will tap 1 to play a Jungle Delver, and then we'll tap 3 to play the Vine Shaper Mystic. It says when the Vine Shaper Mystic enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target merfolk you control. We'll go ahead and play 1 on the Shaper Apprentice, making it a 3/2, and we'll play 1 on the Vine Shaper Mystic, making it a 2/4. For Huatli, she'll just tap everything and play her 2 dinosaurs, another Territorial Hammerskull, and a Huatli Snubhorn. And then we will go on the attack. We will attack 2 Rollicking Throngs with each of the Shaper's Apprentice and the Territorial Hammerskull, which will also tap the Ferris Band Revelers, and we'll kill 2 Rollicking Throngs. And then we will pass the turn to Xenagos, who will cast the top 2 cards from his library, the first one being an Ecstatic Piper, which does nothing, and the second one being an Ecstatic Piper, which again does nothing. And then we will use the Harvester at the end of the turn. Jace will draw a forest and discard the forest. Huatli will draw a mountain, and then we will discard the mountain. Then we'll untap, and then we'll draw. Jace draws a Jace's Sentinel, and Huatli draws a Tilonali's Knight. We will go on the attack, attacking the Ecstatic Pipers with Territorial Hammerskulls and a Vine Shaper Mystic. the Shaper Apprentice will attack the last Rollicking Throng, killing 3 Ecstatic Pipers and 1 Rollicking Throng, and tapping down the Ferrous-Band Revelers again. The Ecstatic Pipers say when Ecstatic Piper leaves the battlefield, each player gains 2 life. So we're getting 4 life per Ecstatic Piper, and there are 3 Ecstatic Pipers, so we'll gain 12 life to go all the way back up to 18. And then on the second main phase, we will tap 1 and 1 to play a Tilonali's Knight. And we will tap 4 mana here to play a Jade Guardian, and it will place a +1/+1 counter on itself per what its text box says. And then we will pass the turn to Xenagos, who will play the top 2 cards, the first one being an Ecstatic Piper, which does nothing, and the second one being a Rollicking Throng, which says when the Rollicking Throng enters the battlefield, reveal the top card of Xenagos' library, and Xenagos casts that card. It's going to cast the next card, which is another Ecstatic Piper, which does nothing at the end of the turn. We will use the Harvester. Jace will draw an island and will discard the island. Huatli will draw a Shining Aerosaur and discard the Shining Aerosaur. Then we'll untap. We'll draw. Jace draws a Woodland Stream. Huatli draws a Huatli's Spurring. We will play the Woodland Stream tap. We will tap 1 of each of these to also play Jace's Sentinel. We will be attacking the Ecstatic Pipers with the Territorial Hammerskulls again, as well as the Vine Shaper Mystic. And then we will be attacking a Rollicking Throng with the Shaper Apprentice. Oh, this should be untapped. And then we'll attack the Ferrous-Band Revelers with the Raptor Companion. And then we will cast Huatli's Spurring on that companion to let it trade 2 for 1 for that Ferrous-Band Revelers. That should kill everything on the board. Again, with 3 Ecstatic Pipers, we're going to be getting 12 life, as well as drawing a card from the Ferrous-Band Revelers, taking us up to 30 life. We'll lose the Raptor Companion, and then we will draw a card each. Jace will draw an island, Huatli will draw a Stone Quarry, we'll play the Stone Quarry tapped, and we'll play the island. And then we will pass the turn to Xenagos, who will cast the top 2 cards, the first one being a Madden Oreade. It says as long as there are 5 or more Revelers on the battlefield, Madden Oreade attacks each turn if she's able. She's a 4/2, and we'll also cast Xenagos' Strike, taking 8 damage total to take us back to 22. And then we will untap. We'll draw. Jace will draw a Jace Ingenious Mind Mage. Huatli will draw a Slash of Talons. We'll go ahead and play Huatli herself, and she'll come into the battlefield with 4 loyalty counters, and we'll tap and cast Jace himself as well. And he'll come to the battlefield with 5 loyalty counters. Huatli's ability says that you can +2 her to put 2 +1/+1 counters on a target dinosaur that you control. So we'll go ahead and push her up to 6 to put +2 onto the Territorial Hammerskull. Jace says that you can +1 him to draw a card, so that's exactly what we'll do. We'll draw 1 card, which is a Deeproot Warrior. And then we're going to go and attack with the 4/5 Territorial Hammerskull into the Madden Oreade, which will kill it. When it leaves the battlefield, each player gains 3 life. We'll gain 6 life to go up to 28, and then we'll pass the turn to Xenagos. Xenagos will play the top 2 cards, the first one being Ferrous-Band Revelers, and the second one being a Rollicking Throng, which triggers another casting of a card, which is Impulsive Charge. At the beginning of combat this turn, all Revelers gain haste until end of turn and attack this combat if able. They are going on the attack. We'll block the Rollicking Throng with the Jade Guardian. That will kill the Rollicking Throng, and then we'll double block the Ferrous-Band Revelers with the Shaper Apprentice and the Jungle Delver, which will kill the Ferrous-Band Reveler as well. Killing them both, losing our Shaper Apprentice and our Jungle Delver, and getting us 1 card each. Jace will draw a Forest, and Huatli will draw a Plains, and then we will pass the turn back to us. We'll use the Harvester before the end of the turn to draw a Forest and promptly put it in the graveyard, and Huatli will draw a Mountain and promptly put that in the graveyard. We'll untap. Jace will draw an Island, Huatli will draw a Bonded Horngrass. We'll play the Plains, we'll play the lands, but I don't think it matters. We'll go ahead and tick up Huatli to 8, put the extra counters on the Territorial Hammerskull, which will make it a 6/7 attack and kill Xenagos for the win. I'll be right back for game 2 in hard mode. Okay, it's hard mode. We got 4 Rollicking Throngs. We'll draw 8 cards apiece and hope we survive. Jace draws an Island. Jace and Genius Mind Mage, Woodland Stream, Vine Shaper, Mystic, Forest, Deep Root Warrior, Island, and Herald of Secret Streams. I think that's a good start. Huatli draws a Raptor Companion, a Stone Quarry, a Mountain, a Huatli Spurring, Huatli Dinosaur Knight, Pterodon Knight, Plains, and Territorial Hammerskull. I think that is an okay start as well. Go ahead and begin with a Mountains and a Plain here. And we will begin with a Forest and an Island here. We'll go ahead and tap both of these and play a Deep Root Warrior, and we'll tap both of these and play a Raptor's Companion. Go ahead and then turn the turn over to Xenagos, who will play the top two cards. The first one being a Rollicking Throng, which means that he casts another card, which is an Ecstatic Piper, which means that Xenagos is going to attack. And the second card is an Ecstatic Piper, which means that Xenagos is going to attack. We're going to go ahead and be attacked by Xenagos and lose 6 life to go to 14. Alright, wow, what a start. We'll go ahead and tap the Harvester. Jace will draw a Grasping Current, and Huatli will draw a Plains. We'll keep the Plains, and we will discard Huatli's Spurring over here, and then we will discard the Herald of the Secret Streams over here. We'll untap. We'll draw, Jace will draw a Shaper Apprentice, and Huatli will draw a Mountain. We'll play the Mountain, we'll play the Plains, we'll play Woodland Stream tap, and we'll play the Island. What we will do next is we will tap these three and play the Vine Shaper Mystic, putting a +1/+1 counter on it, and a +1/+1 counter on the Deep Root Warrior. And over here we will tap these four and play a Pterodon Knight. We will attack an Ecstatic Piper with the Deep Root Warrior, which will kill it, getting us 4 life, taking us back up to 18. And then we will have to pass the turn. Xenagos is going to untap. He's going to cast the top 2 spells. The first one being Xenagos Strike. We're going to take 8 damage from this, and then we'll also be facing a Wild Mayonnaise. It says First Strike, and it's a 3/1. We're going to be taking 8 damage to go down to 10, and then we're going to be using the Harvester at the end of the turn. Jace will draw a River's Herald's Boon, and Huatli will draw a Shining Aerosaur. We will discard the Huatli Dinosaur Knight, and we will discard Jace himself, and then we'll untap. We'll draw, Jace will draw an Air Elemental, and Huatli will draw a Tilonali's Knight. We're a little bit crunched on mana, we'll play the Stone Quarry tapped. We'll play the Shaper Apprentice right now, and then we will play River Herald's Boon to put +1/+1 counters on the Shaper Apprentice and another one on the Deep Root Warrior. Huatli can only play the Territorial Hammerskull, so that is what Huatli will do. And then we're going to go on the attack. The Vine Shaper Mystic will attack the Wild Mayonnaise. The Deep Root Warrior will attack one of the Rollicking Throngs. Pterodon Knight will attack the Ecstatic Piper. These two just enter the battlefield so they can't attack. We will kill all 3 of these and gain 3 life for each player here. That's 6, and 2 life for each player here. That's 10. We'll gain 10 life to go up to 20. And then we will pass the turn to Xenagos. He's going to cast the top 2 spells. The first one being a Ferris Band Reveler. The second one being a Dance of Panic. As long as there are 5 or more revelers on the battlefield, all revelers have haste and attack each turn if able. So we're just going to be attacked by all of the revelers, which are a good number of revelers. And we will arrange some blocks here. We will block a Rollicking Throng with the Shaper Apprentice, and then we will double block a Rollicking Throng with this pair, and the damage will go to the Territorial Hammerskull, killing the 2 Rollicking Throngs. But we will take 6 damage from the remaining revelers and then go down to 14 life. At the end of the turn, we're going to use the Harvester. Jace will draw a Tempest Caller, and Huatli will draw a Plains. We will discard the Tilonali's Knight in this case, and we will discard the Tempest Caller over here. We will untap. We'll draw. Jace will draw a Jade Guardian, and Huatli will draw a Mountain. We'll play the Mountain, we'll play the Plains. We've already cast the River Herald's Boon, sorry about that. And then we will cast the Jade Guardian over here, putting the +1/+1 counter on itself. And then we will cast the Shining Aerosaur over here. We'll go into our attacks, and we'll attack the Ferris Band Reveler with the Deep Root Warrior, which will become a 5/5 at that point, and then we'll also attack and destroy one of the Rollicking Throngs with the Shaper Apprentice and the Pterodon Knight. That should kill all of the remaining creatures over here. When they die, we will be drawing just 1 card each. Jace draws, a Headwater Sentries, and Huatli will draw a Rallying Roar, and then we will be passing the turn to Xenagos, who will cast the top 2 cards from his library. The first one being a Impulsive Charge at the beginning of combat. This turn, all revelers gain haste until end of turn and attack this turn if able, and will also cast a Fair Span Revelers, which is going to enter the battlefield and then attack as a 4/4. We will go ahead and block it with the Raptor Companion and the Vineshaper Mystic, trading the Raptor Companion for the Fair Span Revelers. When it dies, we'll go ahead and draw a card each. We'll draw a Castaway's Despair here, and we'll draw a Plains here. We will then use the Harvester to draw and discard. We'll draw a Jungle Delver and then discard the Headwater Sentries, and we will draw a Shining Aerosaur here and then discard the Rallying Roar here. We'll untap. We'll draw. Jace draws a Shaper Apprentice, and Huatli draws a Huatli Snubhorn. We'll play the Plains here, and then we will go ahead and play all of Huatli's creatures. And then we're just going to go ahead and attack and kill Xenagos. I believe that just the Deep Root Warrior alone will do it. They'll trade. Xenagos perishes, and we win the day. This is the first time in a while that I've defeated hard mode, but that is great. So the Ixalan Planeswalker decks have actually taken out the Xenagos Defeated God Challenge deck in straight sets. Let me know what you think about these battles in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button if you'd like to see more such videos. Hit subscribe. If I made any mistakes in terms of gameplay or in terms of rules, let me know and I will try to improve in the future. Thanks for watching. This was Refresh, and I will see you next time.